In today's video, I'm going to share some tips and tricks that we've learned for surviving a road trip with kids. So tip number one is the easy one and pretty well known. So it is to have a little stationery kit to keep your kids entertained on the way. Our kids love to draw and colour in, so we have this toiletry bag. It's just one of the ones that zips in half and has two compartments. And so in the top here we have all their stationery. So they've got some crayons and colouring in pencils, post-it notes, and we've got some sellotape there as well, so that if they find any knickknacks along the way they can stick it in, so it can kind of be like a bit of a travel journal. And then in the bottom we've got a little notebook and a how to draw book. Our kids are really into learning how to draw, so I've added that in. And the other thing about this bag is it's got this, which we're going to put around the headrest of the seat above so that it can hang up and it can just be easily accessed. And it's nice and big, so it fits an A4 size in the bottom. So tip number two is to have something to draw on. There's nothing more frustrating than when you've got in the middle of something and everything goes sliding around and you're trying to search for it when it's fallen off. So we got these travel trays. So we've got two kinds. So this one here is what we got for Skylar and Summer. It has the sides so things won't go rolling off, and it has little pockets so you can organise what you might be using at the time. And then in the back it has a strap which we're going to use for Summer so that when she has her stuff it doesn't go falling off. We didn't think that you should be able to hold a tray and do activities at the same time, so that's why we picked this one up. The second option that we got for the travel tray was just a cookie sheet, and now this is the one that we got for Kiara. But the good thing I like about this is it is nice and sturdy and it's magnetic, so you could use magnets on your road trip and that would be quite fun. In fact, I have some, which is a nice activity that we're going to be doing on our road trip. So tip number three is to have some sort of reward system. I know that when we go on a road trip our kids get a bit stir crazy. The first system was to have reward money. So what you would do is you'd make some fake money and then you'd give it to your children as either they've been good or you reach a certain point in your trip. And then they would either trade that in for real money, which they can spend on the road trip, or they can have a little shop in the car, which they get to pick some items out of. But the other way was to have little surprise bags which they get to open at certain points in the trip. And so that's what we've gone with. I have used these little packing cubes. You know when you buy packing cubes, I always get these little shapes which I never knew what to do with them, so I've decided that we'll use these as little mystery bags. And then for every hour on our road trip where the kids have been good, they'll get to open up one which has an activity that they get to do. And if they have been naughty, they have to push it back 15 minutes. So that's the method we're using to keep our kids all good in the car. And fingers crossed, I think it'll work. The kids are pretty excited about it. Tip number four is to plan your food and drinks. So whenever we don't plan our food and drinks, I always find that we end up eating a lot of junk or buying lots of crap. So this time I have made the effort of actually planning what we're going to be eating at each time. What we are going to be doing when we are in the car is to be giving the kids a container full of healthy snacks which they can have as they please. So this might be some carrots, some nuts, some fruit, little fingery stuff that they can just eat as we drive. And then at the front of the car we will have some treats so that when they've been good or as a bribe for when things start to go haywire, that we can give it to them just to keep things on track. When they drink heaps, they need to go to the toilet heaps. So it's good to know where the toilet stops will be. We have to definitely plan our toilet stops out much better than we normally would. Tip number five is word games. These are games that you can play together as a family in the car, where you might each say a little sentence together, or you might look for something, but you're all playing it together. So I think this is a great way to make memories as families. and so that not everyone's all isolated in their individual activities. So for this trip, I've researched a whole bunch of word games that we can try out as a family, and fingers crossed they'll go well. So number 6 is planning pit stops. I know that when I get on a road trip and we've been driving for hours, I get restless. This is basically a kit of things that you can have in your car, so that when you do have stops, that you can do a little bit of running and physical activities. So they might be a hula hoop, a ball, a skipping rope, or it could just be getting the kids to run out to the tree. But they're basically a way to run off the energy so that when you get back in the car, you're all enthusiastic and a little bit happier about being in the car. Sammy's just woken up, but tip number 7 is tablets, smartphones, iPads. Load up your favourite device with your favourite games and movies and TV shows, and you won't hear from them for hours or until the battery runs out. So bring a charger and a battery pack and you're set for a great road trip. So if you've liked these tips and you found them useful, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more travel inspiration, tips and tricks.